Hunting is the process of tracking down one's prey and tracking its life. Some do it for food and others do it for sport. And while you can consider any serial killer to be a hunter, one specifically did it just as it sounds. Today we discuss the butcher baker Robert Hansen. Let's open the serial killer file. Robert Hansen was born in Esterville, Iowa in 1939. He was the son of a Danish immigrant and followed in his father's footsteps as a baker. In his youth, he was skinny and painfully shy, afflicted with a stutter and severe acne that left him permanently scarred. Surrounded by the attractive girls in school, he grew up hating them and nursing fantasies of cruel revenge. Throughout childhood and adolescence, Hansen was described as being quiet and a loner, and he had an unhealthy relationship with his domineering father. Hansen started to practice both hunting and archery, and often found refuge in these pastimes. In 1957, Hansen enlisted in the United States Army Reserve and served for 1 year before being discharged. He later worked as an assistant drill instructor at a police academy in Pocahontas, Iowa. There he began a relationship with a younger woman. He married her in the summer of 1960. On December 7, 1960, he was arrested for burning down a Pocahontas Country Board of Education school bus garage, for which he served 20 months of a 3-year prison sentence in Anamasa State Penitentiary. His wife filed for divorce while he was incarcerated. Over the next few years, he was jailed several times for petty theft. In 1967, he moved to Anchorage, Alaska, with his second wife, whom he had married in 1963, and with whom he had 2 children. In Anchorage, he was liked by his neighbors and set several local hunting records. In 1972, Hansen was convicted of assault. He was placed on a work release program after serving 6 months in prison. In 1976, Hansen pleaded guilty to larceny after he was caught stealing chainsaw from an Anchorage department store. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and required to receive psychiatric treatment for his bipolar disorder. The Alaska Supreme Court reduced his sentence and he was released with time served. On June 13, 1983, 17-year-old Cindy Paulson escaped from Hansen while he was trying to load her into his Piper Super Cub. She told police he had offered her $200 to perform oral sex, but that when she got into the car, he pulled a gun on her and drove her to his home in Muldoon. There he held her captive, tortured, raped and sexual assaulted her. She mentioned that after he chained her by the neck to a post in the house basement, Hansen took a nap on a nearby couch. When he awoke, he put her in his car and took her to Merrifield Airport, where he told her that he intended to take her out to his cabin, a shack in Snake River area of the Matanska Valley, assembled only by boat or bush plane. Paulson crouched in back seat of the car with her wrist cupped in front of her body, saw a chance to escape when Hansen was busy loading the airplane's cockpit while Hansen's back was turned. Paulson crawled out of the back seat, opened the driver's side door, and ran toward nearby 6th Avenue. She later told police that she had left her blue sneakers on the passenger side floor of the sedan's back seat, as evidence that she had been in the car. Hansen panicked and chased her, but Paulson made it to 6th Avenue first and managed to flag down a passing truck. The driver, Robert Yunt, alarmed by Paulson's dishevelled appearance, stopped and picked her up. He drove her to Moss Inn, where she jumped out of the truck and ran inside, while she pleaded with the clerk to phone her boyfriend at the Big Timber Motel. The truck driver continued on to work, where he called the police to report the barefoot handicapped woman. When Anchorage Police Department officers arrived at the Museum, they were told that the young woman had taken a cab to the Big near Elconta Road. The body, dubbed Elconta Annie by investigators, has never been identified. Later that year, the body of Jonah Messina was discovered in a gravel pit near Seward, and in 1982, the remains of 23-year-old Sherry Morrow were discovered in a shallow grave near the Knik River. Now had 3 bodies and what looked like one killer. He contacted Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Roy Hazelwood and requested help with a criminal psychological profile based on 3 recovered bodies. Hazelwood thought the killer would be an experienced hunter with low self-esteem, have a history of being rejected by women, and would feel compelled to keep souvenirs of his murders, such as a victim's jewelry. He also suggested that the assailant might stutter. Using his profile, Plothe investigated possible suspect until he reached Hansen, who fit the profile and owned a plane. Supported by Paulson testimony and Hazelwood profile, Plothe and the APD secured a warrant to search Hansen's plane, vehicle and home. On October 27, 1983, investigators uncovered jewelry belonging to some of the missing women, as well as an array of firearms in corner hideaways of Hansen's attic. Also found was an aviation map with little hex marks on it, hidden behind Hansen's headboard. Many of these marks matched sites where previous bodies had been found. Others were discovered later at those then unexplored. When confronted with the evidence found in his home, Hansen denied it as long as he could, but he eventually began to blame the woman and tried to justify his motives, eventually confessing to each item of evidence as it was presented to him. He admitted to a spree of attacks against Alaskan women starting in 1971. Hansen's earliest victims were young women, usually between 16 and 19, and was not sex workers, unlike the victims who led to his discovery. Hansen is known to have raped and assaulted over 30 Alaskan women and to have murdered at least 17, ranging in age from 16 to 41. They were Lisa Patrell, 41, acknowledged body found with Hansen's help. Malay Larson, 28, acknowledged body found with Hansen's help. Sue Luna, 23, acknowledged body found with Hansen's help. Tammy Pedersen, 20, acknowledged body found with Hansen's help. Angela Federer, 24, acknowledged body found with Hansen's help. Teresa Watson acknowledged body found with Hansen help. Dylan Sugar Prey acknowledged body discovered on August 20, 1985 by a pilot testing new tires on the sandbars of the Knik River. Paul Goulding acknowledged body found. Andrea Fish Alteri admitted body not found. Sherry Morrow 23 admitted body found. Eklunta Annie admitted body found. True identity has never been discovered. John Messina admitted body found. Horsey Harriet acknowledged body found with Hansen help. True identity has never been discovered. Roxanne Island 24 acknowledged body not found. Sheila Beth Van Chanten 17 denied but suspected because of hacks on aviation map body found. Megan Emmerich 17 denied but suspected because of hacks of aviation map body not found. Mary Thiel 22 denied but suspected because of hacks on aviation map body not found. Of the 17 women, Hansen was only formally charged with the murders of Paul Sherry Morrow, John Messina, Eklunta Annie, and Paula Goulding. He was also charged with kidnapping and rape of Cindy Paulson. Once arrested, Hansen was charged with assault, kidnapping, multiple weapons offenses, and theft and insurance fraud. The last charge was related to claim filed with the insurance company over the alleged theft of some trophies. He used the proceeds to purchase the Super Cube at trial. He claimed he later recovered the trophies in his backyard but forgot to inform the insurer. Only after ballistics tests returned a match between bullets found at the crime scenes and Hansen's rifle did he enter into a plea bargain. He pleaded guilty to the 4 homicides. The police had evidence for Morrow, Messina, Goulding, and Eklunta Annie and provided details about his other victims in return for serving his sentence in federal prison along with no publicity in the press. Another condition of the plea bargain was his participation in deciphering the markings on his aviation map and locating his victim bodies. He confirmed the police theory of how the women were abducted, adding that he would sometimes let potential victims go if she convinced him that she wouldn't report him to police. He indicated that he began killing in the early 1970s. He showed investigators 17 grave sites in and around south-central Alaska, 12 of which were unknown to investigators. There remained a mark on his map that he refused to give up, including 3 in Resurrection Bay near Seward. Authorities suspect 2 of these marks belong to the graves of Mary Thiel and Megan Emmerich, whom Hansen has denied killing. The remains of 12 of a probable 21 victims were exhumed by the police and returned to their families. Hansen was sentenced by jury to 461 years plus life in prison, without the possibility of parole. He was first imprisoned at the United States Penitentiary Lewisburg in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. In 1988, he was returned to Alaska and briefly incarcerated at Lemon Creek Correctional Center in Juneau. He was also imprisoned at Spring Creek Correctional Center in Seward until May 2014, when he was transported to the Anchorage Correctional Complex for health reasons. Hansen died on August 21, 2014, aged 75, at Alaska Regional Hospital in Anchorage due to undisclosed lingering health condition. That's all in this file. Be sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode of Seriously Strange. Also, if you have a suggestion for a future episode, please comment below.
He had chains around my neck 4 times. There was a bullet hole in the pillar. Laid down on the floor. And the reason why I noticed it because I was laying there. Laid down on the bottom.
Let me get the sequence right now. You come into the house, you take off your shirt, he takes off the rest of your clothes, and then he ties you up.
Yep, because that's when he was in the house.
Did he at that point?
Yes, he did.
When does the bear rug mean?
He did, I believe the bear rug was there. It wasn't laying in the middle like that. It was laying on the couch.
Were you on the bear rug when he had sexual relations
Yes,
with you?
uh-huh.
And this is the same time you're tied with your neck to the coffee
Yes,
table?
that's when he had sex. So if I moved too far, it took me.
When did you go to the bathroom in relation to all this?
After the first activity with him.
Okay, then you went to the bathroom.
And he would fall behind me with the rope. I went in the bathroom, and I used the restroom. And I was done, and I started to come out. I had chains around him. And he said, go back in. And I came out anyway, and that's when he was taking them apart, getting ready to chain them up to the pillar.
You got 2 posts drawn here. Which pillar?
2 posts.
Which
the
pillar?
Second one.
Put the one that he tied you up. Put tied up next to it.
The situation presented itself and she was, agreeable to it. If not, just someone I could go, a female I could go and do some things with. It was always, I could go out with some fellows who were hunting with me. It wasn't, it wasn't the same. But during this time period, Cindy Paulson kind of also true what she said about that after sex act there, I took her back to my basement is kind of divided in two sections. There's one section that's carpeted, couches on this side of it. Another section back here where there's the pool table. The bathroom back over here, another book storage room and so forth. Laundry facilities in here. Over there's a couch on the other end of my basement. I took her over and I had her lay down on the couch, and then I went back and sat down on my couch. Then she got up. I said, no, I want you to stay where you're at. And there is some pillars in my basement. And out from those pillars, I had been, while my family had been gone, excuse me, it's kind of hard for me, I'm sorry. We have two dogs, a lab and a little poodle. And the lab stays out in the pen out in the backyard. A little poodle does not. It stays in the house, a little house dog. And when no one's around, it has a bad habit that it will go to the bathroom on the floor if it's not watched. If it's time comes for it to go, it will go. And to avoid this, well, if someone's in the house at all, it will not. But when I was working down the bakery and so forth, it would go. I would either tie it up in the entryway off from the garage coming into the house, or else down in the basement, because it's a tile floor there, and if the dog does go, it don't go all the time, but maybe once a week or so it would go. It was easy for me to clean up. And I had on the pillow there, I had an eye bolt stuck into the pillar. First I had one down by the floor I put in, but it would wrap around so much that it would get tangled. So I moved it up higher, and I sort of halfway solved the problem. But anyway, when moving around, I slid the couch over by that, and there was the eye bolt there. I went out in the garage there and got a length of chain and put to her to the eye bolt so she couldn't move. It wasn't tight or nothing, it was just loose. But anyway,